Hello people, and welcome again to another dose of Drew. This is Friday Night Knives edition number 2 on this one. Uploading the same time as another video if you're watching this all by itself. And this one is the Nick Shabazz. So riddle me this and riddle me that. Who's afraid of Nick Shabazz? Anyway, for those of you who understand that, you're awesome. So, wow, this is a color of blue and white that probably isn't Swiss. BladeHQ with a Jewish star, fantastic. A gem, oh yes. We shall see. Is it cubic zirconium? Is it glass? Is it a gem? The unboxing, as you can see, was relatively minor. I don't know if you can tell. I have heard rumors about just how small Nick Shabazz was. My understanding is he has tiny hands. That's just an internet rumor, or at least what I have seen on the internet. So take it as you will. That being said, there is the tools included. A little penknife, a little, could be a screwdriver, fingernail file that is just ridiculously rough. Like, what kind of fingernails do you have, Nick? I mean, I've seen them. You got tiny hands and really pretty nails, man. Why do you need a fingernail file that looks like it's going to take, like, I don't know, looks like you're going to take paint off of something or just file it down. It's like, oh, look, just a second. Let me file down my cuffs. All right, okay then. Well, we'll just go with it then, because I've seen your hands. Like, I've seen this part of you, man, and I didn't realize they were, number one, this tiny. If these scissors are usable for you, man, I'm just saying that's a lot. That's small. It is relatively thin. I will say that. Couple of bits there. We'll close down the teeny tiny scissors. Oh look. Well, at least it's a plastic toothpick for a teeny tiny. How am I supposed to get that to the back of my mouth? Like, okay, and then apparently dip it in something that's hygienic and then slide it into a little tiny pocket where germs and everything can fester. Fantastic. I'll be putting that in my mouth never again. All right. So there, ooh, and again, tweezers for, like, am I plucking things a lot? Like, is this, I dropped that. Is this supposed to be some sort of message to me about that I'm supposed to pluck? Like, am I getting a monobrow? Or is this just something that happens a lot in the Nick Shabazz Gem Edition? I don't know. I have sometimes wished I had tweezers, though quite honestly, I don't know if I ever wished I had some that were an inch long. But hey, maybe that's just how things work in the Shabazz household. He's always an inch short. Anyway. But I digress. All right, let's do a couple of, I'll open this up here so we can do a couple of size comparisons. Here it is next to the rat number 2. Because there's a number 2 somewhere in there apparently. And here it is next to the CVV Elementum. As you can see, it is indeed tiny, as if it was made for somebody with really small hands. Just guessing. Anyway, so there's that. So, alrighty, and then of course we'll do a pair of 3 here. Lightweight version. Yeah, it's much, much smaller, and not just any leak, but a random leak. Yeah, it's really small. And one more, because I really feel the need to point this out. I really must point out that I just wanted to point out how much smaller the Nick Shabazz is than my Wiener. length, girth, thickness, though quite honestly not by much. You'd be surprised at just how thick this can be when you have to carry that many tools inside of it. So, you know, yeah, it's got multi-uses, but you get a toothpick in order to really start working with that thickness. And we will just leave that multi-entendre right where it sits. Alrighty, so there's those size comparisons. So I do want to bring a couple more up. One, here it is next to a Spyderco Dragonfly in the pink and black breast cancer edition. And one thing, because I think this is really more along the lines of a competition. This is my Victorinox Swiss Army Spartan. This one is thicker, though not as long. So, well, yeah, almost. It is much closer, though. It is thicker in girth. It is approximately the same in most everything else. In fact, I would venture to say, with the exception of the overly rough file, you get a measuring tool, the 1.5 inch for those who only have that much to measure, as opposed to the extremely rough file. And instead of a unhygienic toothpick, you know, instead of an unhygienic toothpick, you get a flashlight. Wow, yeah. And a pen that will probably run out of ink way too soon for anyone's liking. So you really don't, you know, it's not something you're going to use very much. Probably like the toothpick and tweezers. But it is thicker, which, quite honestly, in this case makes this one the lesser of the two. I know it really is often about girth when it comes to some things. But in this case, I'm actually going to give it to the slimmer Nick Shabazz Special Edition. One, it has the ring, but the lanyard can be put on this if need be. Two, the slimmer profile actually makes it better for what I use my Spartan for, which this will actually become regulated to a travel or a once-in-a-while carry, or a different type of carry where I will bring a different type of wallet than my normal. In that it's slimmer. It'll fit in my wallet. In fact, let me make sure I have a copy here. To be able to get into what would be my normal carry wallet, or where you go, this fits a lot better. It's still slim. It is not much different than my current Cold Steel Lucky one as far as thickness, and it'll slide right into the same spot. Whereas I already have a special wallet that I only carry this in because it is so much thicker. It requires you to stretch out the leather so much. I actually do give this the nod on that everyday carry point. And I will be switching out from the Spartan to the Nick Shabazz. I have to admit, it is well done. And as much as I want to complain, for the extra tools I get on the Spartan, the light and the pen, I have other everyday carry items that are better. I have a full pen. I have G2 pens I can carry and run out and not worry. I have flash. This is a nice backup, but this will be my second or third backup flashlight, and I just don't need one. My flashlight is a backup in case I just need a flashlight, so why do I need a backup to my backup? Like, it is less use. These features are actually less useful. As something I would need in a pinch, yes. Oh, having it in my wallet is a nice backup. If I don't have my other pen, if I don't have my, and I mean, in this day and age, who actually uses a pen as much as you use your phone, right? If I don't have my other flashlight, oh, look, I have something I can find my keys with or find my keychain. This isn't a real flashlight. This is barely going to find anything close. So as cool as this thing sounds, its features are once in a while, and their once in a while isn't very good. So I mean, I have this on my key. I have another light already on my keychains. I are to find like to actually be on my keys. There's a lot of reasons. Whereas, believe it or not, because it's something that you so rarely need, just having a little pair of tweezers to get something delicate or something small that you may not be able to pick. I have big fat fingertips. I may not be able to get, down into something tiny. It is actually, I don't usually, my fingernails are really long. I do need to clip them, but this is about as long as they ever get. So I do have difficulty with fine motor touches and stuff. And as far as the toothpick, quite honestly, I'll probably use this so much less as a toothpick than for tasks that would normally be something like this, where I would need to go in here. It's like, oh, I need to, like on the Spartan, I need to push out a battery, which I actually think I need to take the cover off first. But I could actually remove the battery. Or if I need to reset, I can use this as something to again, touch a really small point. I would not use this as an actual toothpick for hygiene reasons, but as something that I can use that's flexible, can touch a really small area, reset buttons, all sorts of other stuff. This is actually a useful thing where I don't necessarily want something that could possibly be destructive, like a knife or a screwdriver tip or scissors or anything like that. And I actually need a softer touch or a small area, and that is actually quite useful for that. So actually in the area of my everyday carry Swiss Army, I actually bought the Spartan, and it is going to be my backup. And I do have to admit, Nick Shabazz and BladeHQ did a really good job. This is a lot. The only thing that I don't, well, my long fingernails notwithstanding, is this giant, I don't know, grinder of a file here that looks, I mean, just look at that thing. That's just, my goodness, what's with you? Some people's kids, I tell you. So yeah, there's that. And it is a gem. I unboxed it, and I can tell you, without having to review it again, this is already going to be in my new wallet carry. I don't think there's even going to be another review of this thing. I did the unboxing, I did the review all in one. That is the BladeHQ Nick Shabazz Victorinox Swiss Army Special, you guys. And it is, as Nick Shabazz would say, it is a gem. The good, it is small, it is thin, it is a nice color combo. It's an interesting little bit here with the Israeli flag. I'm not really sure what the Star of David's doing in there. Okay, but it's all right. The good's all right. It's there. The bad, it's got a file that's really kind of silly. Like, okay, so I got a file. I could have used it honestly, the measuring thing for me is a little bit better, or at least put it on one side. Like, what's the flat doing over here? Give me a measuring stick and a file. Make this something besides just a smooth, what is that? Like, this is better for grip if I'm trying to use this thing. So there's the bad on it, along with the fact that the Lilliputian scissors are really nice if I'm going to try and cut something smaller than, something approximately the size of string. If I ever had to cut myself out of a paper house, it would take me a while, probably something along the lines of the Shawshank Redemption length, but I could get myself out. So is it bad? Is it good? They're there. It's better than no scissors by about that much. So yeah, there's that. And the ugly, there really isn't. There isn't anything. The ugliest thing about this is that it doesn't come with its own lanyard. So you got to provide your own for those who want it or go on a keychain. It is a wonderful keychain knife in that respect. The good, the great, the bad, the ugly. Not really any ugly. The bad is really subjective. The good is just about everything. The great is the form factor for its intended use. And for that, you guys, I'm going to give it the Nick Shabazz gem status. as well. I'm sure many other reviewers will, but really did knock it out of the park. It's a beauty. The dark blue is quite striking. The white sets it off nice. You see the shield. BladeHQ and Nick did a great job on doing it. It's a great color. It's just off of the normal BladeHQ colors. And again, there's the Nick Shabazz gem. It's a really good one, and it's at a good price. So there you go, everybody. The Nick Shabazz, small but mighty, made for tiny hands, maybe. Great little EDC action if you're someone who can't take a knife into work, but you want to have at least a backup. This is a great wallet carry that should appease all rules and regulations for most people, as it is non-threatening also. That being said, you guys, I'm going to wrap this up. That was supposed to be an unboxing, but that's also the review. So there you go. The SD Classic Nick Shabazz, BladeHQ Victorinox, and of course, the man himself, Mr. Shabazz, on this collaboration. This has been a dose of Drew. Go ahead, watch this twice. Beware side effects. Come back, remember to like and subscribe. As always, you all have a great rest of your night. This has been a dose of Drew. I am said Drew. You guys have a great rest of your night.